Good morning, welcome to Friday class. It's our Totter class and I hope you're all well. Join in with us and do what you can today and we'll run through a series of exercises. You can do them all or you can do some now, some later, but try and do them all if you can today. So first of all, let's set up really great posture. So sit forwards in your chair, little hip walk, and then we're going to hip walk all the way back again, just for a bit of fun. Warming up your hips, so feet are nice and wide, please. Little hip walk. And if I'm talking to some people, that's our lovely class on Zoom that we run every week. Lovely, so keep it going. So I want to see a big shift in weight, side to side and forwards and then back. So I'm on a dining room chair, type chair, and that's quite easy because there's no friction. But if you're on like a fabric chair, it might be a bit harder and you really have to lift up your bottom and lift and shift your bottom. So forwards and back. Getting those hips warm, working through the muscles around the hips, but also the core and into the lower back as well. So keep going. And this is a good one to start with. And you can always do this on the bed before you get out of bed, or sitting waiting for your dinner, or after you've finished your dinner. You could always do this for your homework. You know we like to encourage you to do some homework. So, and it's an easy one to do. So come to the front third of your chair and we're just going to come into our little circulation boost by lifting up our heels one at a time. So working through the ankles, the calves, the knees and the hips, but mostly for now the ankles and the feet. So we've got some lovely joints in our toes, so I want you to really think about bending through the toes here. So taking your time, slowing it down, bending through the toe joints, okay? Because we need to get them bending, otherwise we can't step properly. And some of you might have fused joints, then it's much harder, isn't it? So do what you can. Lovely, so it's a little bit of a press and a bend, press and a bend, and you're pushing the fronts of your feet up and forwards, okay? Lovely, let's do the opposite. Let's lift the toes, and you might want to take your feet forwards a little bit to do this. So lifting the toes, squeezing through the front of the foot, but also getting a stretch in the back of the heel, the back of the ankle into the Achilles. So just moving through all of those joints. Good, and then bring them back. Okay, hands come down by your sides, and then I want you to just think about your posture. So you can see that I'm kind of slouched. I'm going to lift up through my belly. So I'm lifting through my belly, and then I'm lifting my chest. And then I'm going to lift the shoulders. So raise through the shoulders and gently drop them down. So just a lift, a shoulder raise and lower, raise and lower. And just let them really drop down. We hold a lot of tension in the neck, so to drop them down gives you a bit of space in the neck. And sometimes if you want to give yourself a little massage, you can kind of pull, just gently pull those muscles in the neck away if you're feeling some tightness. Let's do the other side, otherwise we'll be uneven. Okay, and then we're going to come into the shoulder circle. So a big circle, I'll show you sideways. So up, all the way back and down, opening out the chest, getting lovely movement through the shoulders and the chest, and working through all that range of movement through the shoulders. So really thinking about that huge movement, as big as you can here, keeping those feet nice and wide, and then a couple more and back to that heel pump. So lifting the heels, and then we're going to add in an arm. So just a gentle swing of the arms through the shoulders though. So kind of not just lifting here. We want to see my shoulders not moving. We want to see the shoulder actually moving forwards and back. Lovely. And if you need to support, if you've got a weaker side, you can support by holding on. That's it. Relax the shoulders down. Try not to crunch them up. That's it. Good. Okay, little neck exercise. So you're going to put your chin on your, you're going to put your finger on your chin even, Okay, and then I want you to keep your finger there and pull your chin away from it. So pull it back. I'm going to show you from the side, and I don't like this from the side because it gives you a double chin. But you're pulling your chin away, lengthening through the back of the neck. And it's I quite like this one. It really opens out that space at the back of your neck and stretches. You can feel it under the skull, can't you, almost? Just gently, slowly. Lovely. Good. And then let's take a look to one side. And then come to the center and reset. So we always stop here and reset, relax your shoulders, and then take a look to the other side. And one side might feel less mobile. So for me, turning to my right feels a bit kind of stiff and less mobile than turning to my left. And it has a lot to do with your skeleton, your muscles, maybe how you sleep. So I sleep on my front like that. So I do tend to sleep that side. So I should probably make myself sleep the other side. Lovely, keep it going. Just a couple more each side. Lovely. And one more. Okay, and then we're going to go chin to chest. Relax the shoulders. Just let the head dangle there. Feel that stretch in the back of the neck. And then to center. And then just lift the chin gently, slightly. Try not to overstretch here. Sometimes if you have a bit of osteoarthritis or porosis, then it can be a bit uncomfortable. And back to your lovely march. Excellent. Great. So a couple more stretches and then we'll start to make some bigger movements. But we need to stretch you first and prepare your body for these bigger movements. Okay, take the feet wide, hands come down, little side lean, and then up to center, reset, and then lean to the side. So again, keeping your head in alignment, so not trying to drop your head out of alignment. Lovely. Keep going. Little side bend and the side bend. Good. Good morning, Annie. Up and down, side to side. Lovely. And there you go. We're just warming up, Annie, so join in. So in seated, we're going to just walk these heels, toes together. In standing, if you want to do one at a time, then you can. I know a couple of you are up already, so you can walk one heel out and in and then the other. Make sure you're safe if you're standing. In seated though, it's a lovely little toe lift, heel lift, and taking them out. And you can see that I'm really, do you like my new trainers? They're not as bright as Helen's, but I love them. They've got about 2-inch heels, so they make me taller. Lovely. So lifting the heel, lifting the toes, heels. So you can see that I'm opening out my knees, my hips, and you might get to a point and you don't want to go any further. That's fine. Just within your own range of movement is good. Excuse me. But this is a lovely one for those hips and knees and ankles. That's it. Keep it going. Excellent. Good. Let's do a heel dig. So heel, bring it back in. Heel and squeeze the toes up. Squeeze the toes. Lovely. Good. Da-da. Da-da. And then we're going to change that move and tap the toes down. So toe tap and toe tap. So stretching out the fronts of the legs here, but just getting our legs working in a different way. And then we're just going to hold one leg away and make a circle with the foot. One way in one direction and then the other. And then let's swap sides. Can't remember, did I do heel toe? Let's just circle. One way and then the other. Lovely. And back the first way. Good. And back to your circulation boost. So back to a lovely march. And it doesn't have to be fast. It's just warming you up, getting your muscles warm, getting your heart rates raised a little bit. Okay, so we're going to come up to standing if you're up for it. If you want to stay seated, you can, but we always encourage you to come up and do a little bit in standing, even if it's just that you stand and stand still. It's good for your body to be in a standing position, weight bearing through all of the joints in your legs, ankles, feet, ankles, knees and hips, spine. It's good for you. Okay, so to start with, we're going to take our feet nice and wide and come into that sway. So you can have the chair in front of you or have some support by you. If you're unsteady today and you don't want to stand up, that's fine. If you're not feeling it, that's fine. We need you to be safe. So, little sway. That's it. So you can see that I'm taking my weight from one leg to the other. I'm lifting the heel as I transfer my weight. So lift the heel, and then I'm going to add an arm, pushing up one side, the same side that I'm leaning to. So that's quite important, otherwise you'll be, well, you could try it, but hey. Okay, can we do both hands? So side to side, pushing up. So really important that your feet are nice and wide here to keep that wide base of support, that lovely stable base of support. If you want to just do one hand or just the sway, that's fine. Any range, so I start quite small and then I add on. At any point you can go back to the first part. You don't have to do all of the parts of the move. Okay, let's come into the march. So now we're lifting the foot off the floor. Okay, so a bigger movement. And again, you don't need to keep to time with me. You can do it in your own time. But I really want you to relax the shoulders and think about your lovely posture. So, are your shoulders back? Are your bottoms tucked under? It's a bit difficult when you're walking, but just think about where you are. I've got a microphone on my bum, so it's difficult to see. But think about, you know, are your shoulders over your hips and knees, or are you a person that leans forwards? Or some people have a sway back. So, you know, keep going. Some people naturally lean back. Some people have curves. And then you kind of have to compensate for your skeleton shape. So just trying to be in a neutral position with those shoulders relaxed and your feet nice and steady. Okay, so we're going to start by stepping forwards and come back. Step forwards and come back to that wide base. So you can see that I'm almost stepping to the side as I take my weight forwards and then come onto that foot. So I'm swapping legs. I'm going left leg and right leg and left leg and right leg. Good. You can hold on. You don't have to. Good. So repetition is the key here. And at first it might feel a bit odd, but your brain soon gets used to it. And your brain gets used to your body moving in different patterns. So that's proprioception. Your brain knowing where your body is and what it's about to do. And our muscles have a bit of memory. So we know that if we practice this, if you were to wobble, you might make a step forwards instead to stop you from falling, and that's where we call it our compensatory step. Okay, how do we feel about changing it and stepping back? So same principle. I've still got a wide base of support here. I'm just stepping backwards. I'll slow it down. So you start at your chair or your support, you step away and come together and reset. So I was going quite fast, wasn't I, actually? You don't need to. Step back together, step back together. I'll show you without the chair. So I'm going to step back together. So wide feet, yeah? Step back, good. Now Now, if you're quite confident, you could try and step back a bit further or lean. Add on that little lean back. And this reminds me of our little Tai Chi move where we bend that back knee. And that takes a bit of strength through the knee, through the thighs. So only give that a go if you're comfortable with the step back, because I know not everybody's happy to step back. And it is just practice. That's it. Good. Step back. Okay. And then let's change it up again. We're going to step to the sides. So we're going to step to the side, come to a wide step, step to the other side, to the centre, side and centre. So it's kind of like a little sway, and you reset in the centre and transfer your weight from one foot to the other, yeah? Side and centre. So have that chair in front of you if you need it. I'm just showing you without so you can see my legs. Side. That's it. Or anything you've got, a chair or a wall. Some people prefer to have a wall, that's fine. Whatever is your preference. That's it. Keep going. Lovely. And you know, we don't really step sideways very much, do you? Unless you've got a narrow kitchen or somebody's coming towards you and they're not looking. Quite a lot of people are on their phones these days and you have to dodge them because they're just not paying attention when you're out and about. Okay, so we're going to put it together. So we're going to step forwards. We're going to step sideways. One leg only and step back. And to the side. We're going to step forwards. To the side. Step to the back. And then to the side. So you can see that all my weight is basically on one foot. So this is my supporting leg, which is great for strengthening your leg. But also, you know, we're training the brain. We're working on balance as well as movement. So lovely side steps. Okay, and rest it there. We're going to come into the other leg. So same moves, forwards, come to a wide base, to the side, wide base, step back, and to the side. So a 4-point, yeah, 4-point step. 1, forwards, to the side 2, to the back 3, to the side 4, and again. So 1, and we used to call this the clock face, so we can challenge you with different times, but we won't do that today because it's a bit confusing as well, because my 12 might look to 6 to you. There you go. So good. Last one. How about if we put it together and do different legs? So we're going to go front with the first leg, front with the second leg. You can watch if you want for the first time. Side to side, and then back and back. Side to side, front. Do it in your own time. You don't need to keep up with me, but 4 points still, but doing both legs separately though. We don't want any jumping. Not today. No jumping jacks. That's it. So a little bit of brain gym as well, because you've got to think about this. Yeah? So one leg, then the other leg. One leg, then the other leg. That's it. One leg, and the other leg. Is it getting easier the more you're doing it? Practice, practice. Okay, let's do one more round. Good. Keep going. Keep going. Nearly done. Finish on the sides. And back to centre. Ooh, well done. How do you feel? Are we okay? So quite a lot of brain gym, quite a lot of movements, but all within your capabilities and in one spot, so you can see how many movements we can get into one little area. And there's no reason why you can't do that while you're making your soup in the kitchen, or making your dinner in the kitchen, or cleaning your teeth. You can build it into your everyday tasks and jobs and things. So, okay, so let us work on one of my favourite exercises, our lovely knee bend. So feet are wider than hips, toes are out, or actually if you've got hip problems, some people prefer to just squat with feet under hips and toes forwards. So you can come down, try it. So try it here, try it with your feet facing forwards and parallel under your hips. So think about bones of your hips. So just a knee bend, bend the knees, stick the bottom out. I'll show you from the side. So it's a knee bend, and I'm not sticking my bottom out, I'm tucking it under still to protect your back. And you don't need to go very low. I know our lovely Sheila in class used to go right down there, and I go, blimey Sheila, you don't need to do that. But she was more than capable. It just used to scare me. But what we're trying to think about here is squeezing the thighs and the muscles in the bottom and keeping the knees in line. How does that feel? Does it feel okay? Or is there tension, pressure on your joints? If it's too much through your knees, are you sticking your bottom back? Some people I can't even do it. Some people squat like that or like that. Bend the knees, stick the bottom. So it's like a fold. It's like a concertina fold. Okay. And if your bottom doesn't go back, then you put pressure because you're bending your knees and you kind of, ugh, that's not right. Okay, let's try it with wider feet now, toes out. Now, just be careful. So just watch first. This is how it should be. So you can see my knees are traveling out. What happens with some people, if you've got weaker glutes, your knees come in. It hurts your knees. So start small and just a slight bend. Squeeze the thighs on the way up and just be aware of where your knees are. Are you a person whose knees come in? And it might be you need to do some more glute work. It might be you've just got a problem with your muscles and it's just working with what we've got. But we need to keep you able to stand up, bend, squat, knee bend, so that you can sit down and stand up every day for the rest of your life. And I'd rather you just did a couple with really great technique than like 20 with a rubbish technique. Okay, how does that feel? Lovely. Good. And then let's just march it out. Fabulous. Are we okay? Great. Little march. Okay, so we're just going to stretch. So I want you to stand at your chairs or your support. And we're just going to take one foot back and put the heel behind the toes. So let me show you from the front. The heel is behind the toes, so it's square on. And it feels, so this leg here, this one that I'm standing on, okay? If you're not used to having your foot straight in a straight line, it actually feels like it's sticking out that way. But to stretch out the right place, you need that heel behind the toes. So we bend the front leg and we just lean our bodies in towards the chair. And we're stretching out the back of that leg. And actually you might feel it in the front of the hip. Okay, take a step in and send the other foot. So the toes come down, the heel comes down behind. We're bending through that front leg. And just lean into that front knee a little bit. So you can see my weight is on my front leg. And then come in. Good. Lovely. Shall we go for a walk? If you're safe to, let's walk. We're going to walk forwards and backwards. So, just a little walk forwards and then a walk backwards. And I want you to be mindful how you walk. So, when we come forwards, if you want to walk a longer wall, you can. Or you can just do a couple of steps. So, as you walk backwards, are you going toe heel? Are you going on a flat foot? As you're walking forwards, are you walking heel toe? Or are you more of a flat-footed walker? How does it feel? Are you confident walking forwards and back? Or does it slightly scare you? Are you slightly fearful or very fearful? Where are you looking? Are you looking ahead or are you looking at your feet? So if I look down, my shoulders come forwards. I'm more likely to fall forwards. It's all right to set to make sure it's clear and then look up. So as I look up, my posture is better. I can see where I'm going, I can see what's in front of me. I know that the floor is clear and I know that it's safe for me to do this. Are your feet clipping each other or are they far enough apart that you're not going to trip over your own feet? How does it feel to you? Whoop. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lovely. Good. Just a little bit of mindful walking. Well, there's two different kinds of mind. I want you to be mindful of how you step, how you walk. Is it different when you're out and about in the supermarket? I know we normally have a little trolley or a basket to support you. Okay, can we walk to the diagonal? Only if you're safe to. So let's walk 2 steps to the diagonal and then 2 steps to the diagonal. You can walk, you can do like 1 step and then another. So I'm stepping together, I'm turning, step together. Or if you're happy to and if it's easier, 1, 2, turn, 1, 2. And back, 2, back. So you decide. You can step 1 together. For some that's easier because you feel steady. You can walk around and then go in the other direction. And then we're going back, 1 and 2. Step around, 1 and 2. Keep going. 1, 2. Turn around, 1, 2, lovely, 1, 2, 1, good. Okay, can we walk around in a circle? So I don't want you to be dizzy doing this, so try to just look where you're going and slow it down and come to a stop if you need to, if you feel you need to reset and that you're dizzy. And then I'm going to go back around the same way that I came. Because we tend to lead with one side, so I probably lead with my right because I'm right-handed. I am a little bit ambidextrous, but you should practice going on the other side. And we know that that helps our brain. We know that it helps the pathways in our brain. So I'm going to go the other way. Da, da, da. Have a little jig on your way round. What can you see? Any cobwebs? There's none in here. They're very clean in here. It's spider season, isn't it? Love them or hate them? Hate them. Evil. They're out to get me. Especially in the evening when I'm home alone. Okay, have a little march. Good. Okay, we're going to work on balance. So, still with our little steps. You can sit if you need a rest, I don't mind. We're going to take a step forwards in front of our other foot. And then a step forwards. So, tandem stepping. You only need to do a couple, and we're going to walk back. Use your arms to steady. You can stay within the confines of your chair or your support if you need to. Again, what's your posture doing? Are you upright or are you leaning? That's it. If you don't want to be this unsteady, here is the other option. Little tiny pin steps with your feet close together is good, especially if you're not sure. That's it. So feet really close is the opposite of what we tell you to do for your safety. But to challenge your balance, we need you to practice. Lovely. Or tandem, proper tandem. Da, da, da. Like you're on a tightrope. That's it. Tightrope or a beam. We used to teach a beam class, and that was really good for balance, she says, nearly falling off the imaginary beam. And it is very good. It's very good for your balance and the balance mechanisms. Whoop. Okay, step nice and wide. How does that feel? Are we okay? Yes. Okay, I want to do flamingo. Flamingo is good for balance, but it's also good for strengthening. So we know that as we get older, we have to strengthen our bones. And we strengthen our bones by own body weight or resistance. So bands, balls, but actually weight bearing through these bones. So standing on one leg is so important. And if we can do a little swing as well at the same time, even better. So you can just stand on one leg and lift the other. You can start by just tapping, keeping the toes on the floor behind you if you're unsteady. You can hold on, just put a hand on the chair or a finger. Sometimes it just needs a little bit, a sensation of touching something to stop you feeling unbalanced. We're going to lift that foot. Spread the toes out in that supporting foot, and then we swing. Just up and back. Up and back. And trying not to, because this hip might be a bit uncomfortable or you might be tired, it starts to want to stick out. I don't want you to do that. I want you to bring it in so you're aligned, you're standing upright, lovely posture. Swing and swing. That's it, Jen. If you're sitting, just trying to, sometimes keep going and standing. Sometimes it can help to sit sideways on kind of diagonal on your chair, or just lifting and lowering, Jenny, if that's. And then how do we come out of this move? What's the safest way? Lovely, Anita, step wide. Good. Always, always. You're steady, you're ready to go in any direction then. So let's swap sides. Our lovely flamingo swing. So outside leg works so that we can step wide. Okay, so option, toe down, and just hold it here with your lovely posture, pulling everything in, lifting through the chest. Or you can add that, you can lift, you can just lift the heel here, or you can then add the little swing. Dee-dee-dee. Lift and swing, lift and swing. That's it. And you can hear that my toe is just brushing the floor. That's it. Knee lifts and the heel kicks back. Good. And just for slightly longer than we like, because then that's when the magic happens. Loading that body weight through the hips, knees, ankles. Step nice and wide. Oh, and have a wiggle jiggle. One side better than the other. That's my dodgy side, so my hip doesn't like that. But I know that it's really important that I put weight through it because it will help long term. So thinking about bones, lots of vitamin D you need. Lots of leafy greens, sunshine, vitamin D sprays you can get, especially coming into the winter when there's not much sunshine. So, really important. Okay, so let's do some more balance. Our lovely reach, but we're going to add in the knee bend and the reach. So start by just reaching up ahead of you, in front of you. We might need to swap cameras, Owen, please. So reaching up in front of you. I'll have my chair in front, reaching up. So forwards and up. Forwards and up. Good. And up. Lovely, thanks. Up. And then we can start to lift the heels. Spread the toes out in the shoes. Lift. And push. You can do this seated. You can still lift. You can still reach and lift your heels. You just need to take your feet. So everybody in standing carry on. In seated, feet are forwards. It is that reach. So it's, you still feel that you're reaching and you're unsteady. That's it. Can you come onto your toes a bit more? Can you really push down through those big toes and second toes? Can you hear that noise out there? I'm not sure if you can hear it or not. I'll shut the door. I think they're chopping hedges down. Do you chop a hedge down? You know what I mean. Reaching. Oh, you might feel that in your calf muscles. Good. Okay. Feet are wider than hips here because we're going to add, you might need some support by you. We're going to add that knee bend, come up and reach. Slowly, knee bend. You don't have to do all of it. You could just stay with the reach. Or you could just do the knee bend. If you're knee bending, stick your bottom out. Good. Stick your bottom out as you come down. That's it. Oh, can you feel it in your calf? Now, you've always got the option of adding in both arms if you want, but only if you're safe and steady. Good. Let's do one more. Okay, how do we feel? Feet are wide, and we're going to reach across this time and come back to center. Reach across. So I'm lifting up the heel of that leg behind me. Okay, so it comes into like a whole body movement. Reach and cross. Good. So I'm reaching in front of me so I can see my arm in front of my eyes. That's it. Good. Reach in front. Lovely. Reach in front. Good. And then how do you feel about reaching down? So let's reach to the same side. Reach to the same side. Come to the center. Reach. So you kind of have to bend that knee on that side. And you don't need to go far down. And your eye gaze kind of follows your hand. Yeah? Think about a lovely neutral spine. So we're not bending the spine. We're just reaching down, but working through the legs at the same time. And keep it smooth. So I don't want you to stay down there. I just want you to imagine you're picking something up off another chair, say. So it's not right down on the floor. I'm not that mean. Okay, so can we just reach opposite? Just a little way, not too far down. So you're kind of reaching to the outside edge of your chair. So this is a bit different, isn't it? Down. Just getting you confidence, really. And if you've got spine problems, this might not be good for you. So you might want to just stay at the same side. If you don't like it, if it's uncomfortable, that twist doesn't suit everybody. So maybe just a couple of you stay here. Keep going to the same side, and then it just takes out that tension, that pressure on your spine. Especially if you have osteoporosis, then we don't necessarily want you to be twisting. Have a rest. Ooh, good. How do you feel? Are you okay? Lovely, lovely. Good. Okay, so let's just get your heart rates going. So we're just going to start by lifting the knees one at a time. You can hold on. I'm not going too fast. I'm just lifting the knees up in front of me. I'm keeping my shoulders relaxed. I'm pulling in my belly. My bottom's kind of tucked under. If you're sitting, then just come to the front third of your chair and rest back. Everybody standing, carry on. So I'm going to hip walk to the front third of my chair, and then I'm going to rest back, and then I lift my knees. It just takes the pressure off your hips, the fronts of the hips, the hip flexors. And if you only want to do 1 or 2, that's fine. But what we're doing is we're raising the heart rate, which is really good for you. Our hearts are muscles, and we have to work them. It helps with your blood pressure, your pulse, so all the return, that venous return, so pushing the blood back up your body. If your hearts are good and strong, healthy and strong. Lovely. Good. Just slowly, gently, smoothly, lifting and lowering, lifting and lowering. Good. Keep going. Good. Lovely. Couple more. And then just slow it down. Just lift the heels one at a time. Fabulous. And then we're going to sit. Have you got tins? Hasn't everybody got tins? I didn't remind you. If you have, or a band is as good. But if you've got a couple of tins, we can do some work through the arms. Oh. Lovely. I love a tin. A weight. It's all about resistance. So your body resisting, your muscles resisting the weight. And that can be heavy weights, light weights, tins, bands, whatever, body weight. So whatever you have. So squats are resistance, for example. But we need to work the muscles to get them stronger. So we're going to start with biceps. Palms are up, and I do want you to squeeze. You could kind of just do this, and it's easy. It gets harder the more you do, but if you squeeze the tin as well, you really try, you kind of focus the work through the muscles a little bit more. So hand towards the shoulder, keep that wrist nice and strong and straight, and just lift, trying to keep those elbows tucked in so the elbows don't move. Feet are nice and wide to steady you. Okay, if my feet are narrow, I'm more likely to topple off, whereas my legs are my support. Imagine a tripod. So I've got my chair, my legs. Okay, shall we go alternate? Lovely. Are you squeezing? So really good as well is, can you wrap your thumbs around? Can you squeeze with your thumbs? So grip strength, gripping onto something. These tins might be a bit, if you've got little hands, I've got quite big hands. If you've got little hands, it can be a bit uncomfortable, but gripping, grip strength is fantastic for just your health, because, you know, as we get older, it becomes harder to open tins and cans and things, but it you know, it's a sign of strength. So gripping is good. Okay, hold it there. Let's come into our lovely little shoulder work. So bending at the elbows, lifting. I'll show you from the side. So I'm just lifting my arms away, and my elbows are bent here, so it's here. It's this movement here. So that when you come up to the top, it's like you're riding a motorbike. You're ready to rev, if that's what you do when you're riding a motorbike. So bringing the tins together almost, lifting. So keeping that 90-degree angle at the elbows. So we're not opening our arms. We're just using the shoulder muscles to lift. That's it. Keep going. I'm a bit hot, so I've got to open the door again. Sorry. I'm still watching you though. I can still see you. That's it. And you could do this with bands if you were home and you didn't have tins or bottles of water. Okay, hold it there. We're going to go shoulders and in front. So it's not kind of like right up and down. It's shoulders and in front. And it's just nicer, it's kinder to your shoulders. Shoulders and raise, shoulders and rest. If that's too difficult, just in front is fine, or just to the shoulders. You're still working your arms. Good. D, up, down. That's it. And a word of warning, I was holding some weights in a class and I had an itchy nose and I donked myself on the lip with the weights. So please don't scratch your nose or your face when you're holding a tin or a weight. I had a bit of a fat lip. That's it. How does that feel? Is it getting harder the more you do? Repetition, so the more times we repeat it, the harder it becomes. And then let's just roll out those shoulders. So you start off thinking, oh, that's all right. And then by the end, you're like, wow, I can really feel that. Okay, so hands drop to the side. And let's just start with one at a time. So just lifting that arm to shoulder height and lowering it. And then the other. Have you got any discomfort? Does it feel okay? Does one side feel better than the other? Are your feet nice and wide? Is your posture lovely? Are you sitting on your sit bones? Are you breathing? Or are you holding your breath? So for me, that side is more uncomfortable than this side. That side's fine. This side is where I go, argh. Lovely. And then let's try both together. Oh, you look amazing. And I can tell because one side of mine is lifting higher than the other. Breathe, relax, hands down. Good. Hands into chest, and we're just going to push forwards. Push and push. Da-da. And 2 and 1 and 2. Good. That's it. Show me your tins. Good. Or bottles. Good. Okay, let's go alternate. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Last one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Drop down. Roll your shoulders out. We just need to do triceps. I love triceps. You know I love triceps. So how do we do a tricep properly? Sitting upright. Hand comes to your hip and your elbow tucks back. So facing, my elbow is right behind me. It's not stuck out, okay? That's the key. And then we just straighten the arm, keeping the elbow almost as if you've got kind of your elbows hooked up to the ceiling. And you're just lifting, straightening and bringing it back down. And it might not be so comfortable for everybody, so you can bring it in a little bit. So maybe start with your hand on your thigh and then straighten and bring it back in. Not everybody's got that range of movement to bring that shoulder and elbow right back. So do what you can. So just lifting that arm behind you, bringing it back in. Little tricep work. That's it. And let's change sides. So other side, take that arm behind you and then either to the hand to the hip or to the thigh, and then we just straighten off that arm. So keeping the elbow behind, just lengthening and letting go. Thanks, Stuart. Lengthening and letting go. Lovely. Oh, good, Chris. Well done. You're doing as you're told. Do you remember when we were younger, you used to do a tricep dip on a bench? Oh, evil things. They try and get us to do them in pump, but I'm not doing them. Right, rest. Roll through your shoulders. Pop your tins bands down. Have a little roll. Good. Stretch it out. And then let's take one arm to the other shoulder. And then just support the arm and bring it across a little bit more. Or you can just stay there. So you support your hand, your arm with the other hand. And then we'll release. Other hand goes to the shoulder, opposite shoulder. Support that arm and just bring it across your body. So we're stretching out this muscle here at the back, which is the one we've just worked. Hands come behind. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Lift the chin slightly. Breathe. Good. Then we're going to give ourselves a big fat bear hug. One hand on top of the other. Excuse me, and just drop the chin. And remember which hand is on the top. Because you're going to lift the chin, put that top hand on the bottom. It's a swap. And then drop your chin. Round the spine. You can slump. Lovely. Come up. Let's just take our legs away. Point the toe. Flex the foot. Point and flex. Point and flex and drop it down. Other side. We stretched the hamstrings when we were standing, so little point, little calf stretch here. Point and stretch. Lovely. Good. And then pop your feet wide. Just settle in your chairs, just literally 2 minutes. Breathing, relaxation. And then you're done. So close your eyes and just focus on you. Just be aware of your breath. Are you shallow breathing? That's fine. We don't always want to take a deep breath, but sometimes if you're stressed or if you need to calm, then it's good to take a deep breath in and a long breath out, and then come back to your regular breath. And with every breath out, I want you to relax your shoulders a little bit more. And I tend to clasp my fingers together, but I don't want to do that today because I think it makes your shoulders stressed, strained. So relax your fingers and let them just rest on your lap, which takes that strain out of your shoulders. Your shoulders can relax and drop down. And just breathe. And just be aware of the breath in and the breath out. Maybe feel the breath in the back of the throat. And rest the tongue on the roof of your mouth. And allow that breath down the back of the throat. Just focuses your breath. And just be aware of your ribs expanding on that breath in. And falling on the breath out. Can you hear anything around you, or is it silent? Is there traffic or birds? People? Just notice. And come back to your breathing. And then we start to move our toes. Take a deep breath in and a sigh out. Start to move your body however you want to move. You can have a stretch if you want. You can stay where you are, have a little sleep, yawn, open your eyes, sit up, move your shoulders. Oh, well done. That's you done for another week. So thanks for joining us in our Totter class. If you need any info, contact us at info@iCareiMove.com or call us on the number and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Take care, look after yourselves, exercise, do your homework.